All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 10 Side Morning Show, where we discuss everything about raising genius kids. My name is Chris, and I'm your host today. And today we'll be talking about what I wish every parent knew before their child turns 20, before their child turns 10, actually. All right. If you're excited to be here, just let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you're excited to be here this morning. Let me know in the chats. Let me know in the chats. I go through all of them and I want to be able to reply every single one of you as you drop a message. So let me know. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Mrs. Diana. All right. So there's a window, right? There's a window in your child's life. It starts about age 5 and closes around age 10. Okay. And during this window, your child's brain is forming patterns that will stick for years, maybe for life, right? Now, the habits that you build now, the structure you create now, the skills that you develop now in them, they compound into who your child becomes as a teenager and as an adult. And most parents, they don't realize this window is even there. They don't even know that, oh, there's even something like this, and this thing can actually affect their child, right? They're just trying to get through the day. Every day is a hard choice. Every day is a hard day. Let's just get through today. And so, but the choices that you make right now, the choices that you make this year at your child's current age, they matter so much more than you probably think. So much more than you probably think. So let me explain the neuroscience. Let me explain what is important here. You see, between the ages of 5 and 10, something specific is happening in the brain. We call this in psychology, we call it pruning. We call it pruning. So the brain is literally pruning away neural connections that are not being used and strengthening the connections that are being used heavily. It's like, let me put it in a way that you understand. You have a lot of clothes, and so as you grow, you have become exposed to even better clothes. And so your mother, right, comes in and starts removing all the clothes that you refuse to wear. Basically, like start pulling it out and say, I'm going to throw this away. And start pulling it out, to start pulling it out, start pulling it out. And so, while also giving you more of the kind of clothes that you have proven that you like to wear, right? And so that's what pruning means. So if your child's brain is using the neural pathways for focus, for reading, for emotional regulation, for delayed gratification, that part of your child's brain, if they use it, then those pathways get stronger and more efficient. They get stronger and more efficient. But if those pathways are not being used, they get pruned away. And this is why early experiences matter so much, because a child who has been practicing focus since 6 years has neural pathways that has been strengthened for 4 years. A child who starts focus practice at age 10 is playing catch up. The pathways don't exist. They don't exist, right? So what structure does is that during this critical period, it is what shapes the architecture of the brain. Because when a child has consistent routines, has consistent bedtimes, has consistent homework times, has consistent expectations, then their brain develops in a way that expects and understands routine. They develop the understanding, they develop the capacity, to self-regulate because they have been in regulated environments. There's a reason why, like, some people, after they go to command school, they come out and they still behave. They are very disciplined, way more than those children who went to normal schools. Why? Because after years of going through that structure, they, even in less structured environments, they still uphold the structure. A child who grows up without structure, with chaotic routines and unclear expectations, their brain develops differently. They are more reactive. They are more easily dysregulated. They are more dependent on internal structure, on external structure rather, because they didn't develop internal structure. It's just the same way. Let me digress a little bit. You know how, like, children who are not praised as a child, they grow up seeking everybody's validation because they didn't get enough praise. And so, as an adult, they will do anything just for somebody to notice them and say, "Oh, you did so well." And so, because of that, they might even go against their own convictions if it meant getting an accolade or getting approval from their mates or from other people, right? And so now is the time that this foundational architecture is built. Now is the time, before age 10. That's the critical window. That's the critical window. So what actually matters during this window? What are the four things that you want to pay very close attention to? What are the four things that you want to pay very close attention to? Number one is sleep. Number one is sleep. Enough sleep. We talked about this on Friday. The brain is developing, and sleep is when that development happens. A child who gets 9 to 11 hours of sleep every night before age 10 develops a brain that is healthier than a sleep deprived child. This is foundational. Number two is reading, right? And when I mean reading, I'm not saying, oh, reading for book for school or for grades necessarily, but reading every day, books with stories, books with information, whatever interests your child. Reading builds neural pathways for language, for imagination, for sustained attention, and it develops the capacity to learn from text, which is critical for school, by the way. So it's very important. School reading. The three is focus practice. What we just talked about. Small tasks completed, puzzles finished, games played to the end, seeing things to the end. The completion habit that is built early means that the completion capacity is there later. So that you don't want your child to grow up and be like, oh, I don't know how to finish things. I'm a starter. Number four is emotional regulation. Emotional regulation, structure, consistency, predictable responses. When a child knows what to expect, their nervous system becomes regulated. And the regulated nervous system is the foundation for everything else. Learning, relationship, decision making. Now, if your child is past 10, if your child is past age 10, you might be thinking that you've missed the window. And I want to be clear, you have not. What I just said is that it is harder. The brain is, of obviously, is plastic, it can change, but it's harder and it takes longer. So if your child is 12 and you're just now starting to build focus habits, it is possible, or it might take you 2 years to get to the same place a child will get in 6 months if they started at 7. That's the thing that most parents don't understand. And I see this a lot, even on our programs, where, like, a child is already 15 years old or 16 years old, and then the parent is bringing him or her for, oh, Chris, I need help with this. And I'm like, this thing would have been easier years ago, but now it's not that it's not possible, but it's now a Herculean task. It's not a Herculean task. You see, I worked with like I said, neural pathway formation is 5 times faster between ages 5 to 10. Is between ages 5 to 10. It's faster between ages 5 to 10 than any other period, right? So if you wait until secondary school to build structure, you are in soup. You want to start now. Starting now. Starting now is the cocoa. You have to start now. Okay. I work with two children. Let's call them A and B. They went to the same school. They went to the same class. Similar intelligence. Similar economic background. The first child, had a parent who understood this window, and so from age 6, he had structure. There was structure at home. The bedtime was at 8:30 every night. The reading time was every evening. There was consistent routines, clear expectations. And by age 10, this child was focused, capable, emotionally regulated, and a strong student. Right? Child B instead had a different experience. This second child had a different experience because what happened to him was that he was raised in a busy household. He had chaotic routines. Bedtime was whenever they fell asleep. Reading was optional. And then at age 11, the parents finally realized something needed to change. At age 11, the parents finally realized something needed to change and started implementing structure. Now, both children improved when structure was introduced, but child A's improvements were deeper because the foundations were already there. Child B's improvements were noticeable but slower because they were building from scratch. And so neither child was less intelligent. The difference was the timing of when they got the foundation. That's what was different, right? That's what was different. So you might do the same thing, but you won't get the same result as someone who started earlier. So let me recap what we've covered this whole month. Then we kept talking about structure. In week 1, it was about learning fundamentals, how maths develop, how reading works, the critical period for brain development. In week 2, we talked about supporting learning, tutoring that actually works, identifying real learning, and the difference for you to know the difference between the two. And then week 3, we started talking about the environment and the systems. We started talking about morning screens, homework, learning spaces, after school routines. Then this week 4, we were talking about focus foundations, movement, structure, sleep, and completion habits. You see how everything has come together to be everything has come together to make sense because they all connect. The morning structure supports emotional regulation. Emotional regulation supports focus. Sleep supports focus. Completion habits, they build the neural pathways for sustained attention. And all of this is building this critical window before the age of 10. And so, if this has actually changed how you think about your child and learning and the work that you are doing at home, I want you to subscribe. Seriously. If you are yet to subscribe, if you are yet to join us every morning, please do well to subscribe and turn on channel notifications so that you know exactly when I am live every morning. And make sure you share every day that you come. Make sure you share this channel with someone who needs it. Just one parent, just one. Tell them about the 10 Time Morning Show. Tell them about what you've learned this month. And we've got something special coming for you in the month of May, and I want you to be here for it. I'll let you know about it in the next couple of days. However, thank you guys so much. Congratulations on staying to the end. If this helped you, like I said, share this stream with one of your loved ones. Next month, when I mean next month, I actually mean in the next couple of days, we are going even deeper on focus and the systems that support it. right? You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. If you have any questions, if you have any questions at all about it, just leave a comment. We always go through all our comments. I want to make sure that we actually attend to you very much.